I should now ask County Mayor Gillian Coughlan to say a few words. Thank you.
Díomh a cóir de Dáil, tá sé mar an órdam a bhean seo I Glandore anmh chun Seán Hé a chamóra. Leach na nabsblachis far a chrid in 9 agus 6 go maileach lia son public na Héireann. It is my honour, ladies and gentlemen, to be here as Mayor of the County to be witness to the unveiling of this monument to Seán Hayes, who fought in 1916 in the Easter Rising in 1916 for the vision of an Irish Republic that we thankfully enjoy today, and it's wonderful, I think, to see children out here today to witness this unveiling and to bear witness to the fact that one of your own people fought for Irish freedom, something that we cannot take for granted and something that was very hard fought for. So the rights and privileges that we enjoy today are as a direct result of that fight for Irish freedom. And we are very proud of those who did fight and who gave their time and who had the vision and the ambition for a republic and for freedom for our people and for equal opportunity for our people. Something again we must not forget. So I congratulate the local voluntary committee. Go húnta go bhean seo measc mná ar Kirky enough agus Trace Liam live as an obair tá déanta. Mar son chóirla cúnta Kirky tá míad an bhródúil go bhfuil míad tar éis carú live ó héamh an argadra de agus tá an méid sin obair mar seo ag comór an star agus ag cuimh nu an star ag obair timpeall an chunta agus just tugann sé ordú man madam nuair tá cuireadh tugadm chun rud mar seo. So as I say, it encourages me, and I'm really encouraged by the great work that is being done by local history societies. And I wish you well as we come through the decade of centenaries. As we go into the future, there'll be many more great work to be commemorated and to be remembered, because we must remember that is the most important thing. So enjoy your afternoon, and again my sincere congratulations to the local historical society and Queen Imish Seán Ihe. Gur maith go bhfeicáirde.
Our next speaker will give the oration on Seán Hayes. This lady, known to very few of you probably, Fidelma Collins, born at Old Court, Skibbereen, daughter of Sean Collins TD and grandniece of General Michael Collins. So give a nice round warm of applause for Fidelma. Where you go, dear?
Gur maith go móra. Tránónam bha díobh go léir. Thar ceann mé féin agus mo míntar. Is mór an áran dom a bheith an seo inniu. Good afternoon. To all of you, on behalf of myself and my family, I am honoured to be with you here today. The life of Seán Hayes. We are also lucky to be here today, honouring and remembering Seán Hayes. He attended the local school here in Glandore, and it is generally felt that he went on from that to the Mountain School in Ardfield, where I'm sure he met with Sam Maguire and Michael Collins. In 1902, he went to London and worked for the British Postal Service. At that time, he lived with his cousins, Daniel O'Donovan Rathbarry and Cornelius Tobin Glandore. In London, he socialised with other West Cork men, all members of the GAA and the Gaelic League. And we believe that he would have learned Irish at that time because it wasn't taught in the primary schools here then. In 1913, Seán came back to Dublin, and he was working in the GPO, and he joined Coughlan na hÉireann. On April the 23rd, 1916, Seán was in the GPO fighting with his battalion until the surrender in April the 29th. On April the 30th, after the rebellion was over, he and others that fought in the GPO were deported to Stanford Prison, and this included Michael Collins and Garrod O'Sullivan. They were later transferred to Wales, to Frontenac internment camp. The bonds between these men became more intense as they hatched plans for the future. Christmas 1916, a general amnesty was granted. Sean returned to West Cork and lived in Skibbereen for the next 2 years. He organised the Volunteers and had a training camp here in Glandore. 1917, Sean became the editor of the Southern Star. This was alternated with other people, including Ernest Blythe. In December the 14th, 1918, Sean was elected to the first Dáil as a Sinn Féin TD for West Cork. November 1919, he was arrested with other Dáil members and spent 3 months in Mountjoy prison. He was released in February 1920. March 1920, Sean was arrested and was brought to Cork prison, then Belfast and then Wormald Scrubs, where he, with others, embarked on a hunger strike. And eventually he was released at late 1920. April 1921, Sean was arrested again and given a 6-month sentence in Spike Island. When I was researching some of this, I remembered my grandfather, Johnny Collins, had been in Spike Island, and when I looked it up, I discovered that Johnny Collins had been sent to Spike Island in April 1921. So therefore, Sean Hayes and Johnny Collins were in Spike Island together. And I'm quite sure they were friends because they had Michael Collins in common. While in prison at that stage, Sean was re-elected to the Dáil. And again he was released in August 21. In December 21, Sean seconded the motion to accept the Anglo-Irish Treaty. And he was on the platform with Michael Collins and Sean Hayes during that famous meeting in the Grand Parade that we see in Cork, that we see a lot of photographs of. And the Southern Star reported that Sean Hayes was given a rousing reception and a respectful hearing. On June 1922, Sean married Julia Crowley. She had been a member of Cumann na Món. And in August they moved to Dublin. He joined the Free State Army. He was appointed to military governor of the Curragh camp. In March 24, he resigned that position and did not seek re-election. Sean Hayes' health was severely damaged by the hunger strike, and I'm sure, from all his other times in and out of prison. It might sound as if I gave too much history there, but I think if we see how many times the poor man was in and out of prison, I'm quite sure he wasn't treated very well on any of those occasions. He got TB and he died in January 1928. He was only 44 years of age. He is buried in Glasnevin Cemetery. I would love to have met this quiet man who loved his country and fought for its freedom. He was a part of a strong tradition of West Cork men who believed in a free Ireland and worked together to achieve it. We now have this wonderful monument to Sean Hayes. He will not be forgotten, but remembered with respect and pride by the people of Glandore and West Cork, but most exceptionally by his family, which there are many, many of you here today. The love and affection they have for this wonderful man knows no limits. Their commitment to this event has been outstanding. They have, for years, worked together to make sure that Sean Hayes was properly remembered, that he was remembered in the annals of history, but that more than not he was remembered here in West Cork, where his family still live, I know there are some around the world, but the main roots are here. It has been my privilege to meet some of those people over the last couple of weeks. I discovered I went to school with John. We were in Rosscarbery together. Some people might wonder where I've come out of. Maura said I was born in Skibbereen, but I must say I spent 5 wonderful years in the convent in Rosscarbery, and there were lots of hazes in Rosscarbery in those days, and they were a pleasure to be with and have fun with and get into trouble with. So there are other people I've met here today, and Maura doesn't want me to be too political, but they're telling me great stories of my father and remembering my father calling to their houses in the olden days when canvassing was very much in the back kitchen and meeting everyone. I'm so pleased to know that I found the connection between my grandfather and Sean in Spike Island. And unfortunately, there isn't a huge amount written about Sean, but there doesn't need to be, because there's a whole clan of Hayes here today, and they will never let his memory die. And can I say thank you again to the Skibbereen and Rosscarbery Historical Society. I don't know what I can say about this woman. She's given her life to history and teaching, and Goramahagat to you all. And I hope for those of you that didn't know the full history of Sean Hayes, that you'll take it out and look at it. There's a book still available, I'm told, the Skibbereen and District Historical Society. And again, 2016, sorry, the right volume. And just to say again, Gormila Mahagwev, Slán.
Thank you, Fidelma. That was lovely. Now, our next item on the agenda is the unveiling of the monument by another Sean Hayes,